This is the movie news, as brought to you by me, Generally Nerdy, right here on the channel, Generally Nerdy, of whatever platform you might be watching on, probably YouTube. If you want to see the entire episode, the full news show, then follow the top link in the description, again, assuming you're on YouTube. Or if you are not, then check out youtube.com/generallynerdy, generallynerdy.net. Those are places to go do the thing. Let's get into the news before I lose my breath. All right, next section is movies. We do have another follow-up. Today is the episode of follow-ups, apparently, but we do have another follow-up in the movie section. It is Hocus Pocus 2 has announced the remaining cast. I mean, they all have some sort of noteworthiness, but the big one in here is Doug Jones. So there's a couple of interesting things going on with the announcement that Doug Jones is going to be in this movie. I have not seen character listings for who the new cast members are supposed to be playing. So if you know, then you know that Doug Jones was the one that played Billy, what was his name? Billy Butcherson. He played Billy Butcherson in the first movie. Billy Butcherson was the boyfriend of the lead sister, and hilarity ensued. So the fact that they're announcing that Doug Jones is in this movie has a lot of people rightfully thinking that we're going to be seeing another cameo from the likes of Billy Butcherson. But the fact that they haven't announced the character that he's playing has me thinking there is that possibility that he's going to be playing some other monster character, because Doug Jones notoriously usually plays really awesome character. He was the fish man in, honestly, he was the fish man in the fish boning movie. I can't remember the name of it, I apologize. He was also the fish man in the first, in the original two Hellboy movies from Guillermo del Toro. He's Saru on Star Trek Discovery. Doug Jones is everywhere. Doug Jones is fantastic. He and Guillermo del Toro work all the time. He was also the Slender Man with the eyeballs in his hands for the Pan's Labyrinth. So yeah, Doug Jones is all over the place. Always plays well, not always. Usually plays really awesome monsters. So again, the fact that they're not saying what character he's playing has me thinking maybe we're going to see some monsters in this movie. That could be awesome. But we don't know, so we're going to move on. Our first piece of trailer news, we finally got the first trailer for Morbius, and it's been dissected ad nauseum at this point already, even though it just dropped this morning as I am filming this. It is worth a watch. It's definitely, and it should be noted too, if you saw the quote-unquote leaked version of this trailer, the actual released version of this trailer looks like it is like the final draft, whereas the leaked version looked like it was a rough draft, because there are definitely some different things that they show you in the final version that were not in the leaked, quote-unquote leaked version. So if you did see that leaked version on Twitter or whatever platform you might have caught it on, then you should still go check this one out, because there is more to it than what you saw there. That being said, our other trailer for this episode is they finally launched the Uncharted trailer as well. Apparently this came out last week and I just missed it for last week's episode, so you've probably already seen it. If you haven't, it's worth a watch. I like Tom Holland as an action star. I think he is great as an action movie star. He does the thing very well, and I can't wait for the rest of this kid's career. Anyway, go watch the Uncharted trailer. It is worth your time. Now let's get into actual news. Our first one is a new animated movie has been announced for the Garfield franchise. This time, sadly, Bill Murray will not be voicing the titular orange cat. Instead, they have enlisted Chris Pratt to be the voice of Garfield. Very strange. Chris Pratt is going from Mario to Garfield, and we still have these original voice actors. Why are we putting giant faces behind these voices, it's just gonna sound like I love Chris Pratt. I said this when we talked about the Mario movie. I love Chris Pratt. I think he's great. I think he's a decent actor, but I just, as a general statement, I think he's a pretty cool guy from what I can gauge from his public persona, from the way he presents and conducts himself around others. I think Chris Pratt is good, but there's a whole like subculture of acting that is specifically voice actors. Why are we ignoring them? The IP is what people are going to see. This has been stated on any number of other YouTube channels, or anywhere really that produces content in the same fashion. That Arnold Schwarzenegger, or maybe it was Sylvester Stallone, one of those two guys, said a few years back that you're no longer going to the movie to see the star of the movie. You're going to the movie, and Anthony Mackie said it again a couple years ago at Comic-Con. You're going to the movie to see the IP. The star is kind of irrelevant. I mean, obviously, if they're a horrible actor, then that's relevant, but if you're going to see Falcon, the Anthony Mackie play the Falcon, then you're part of the very small minority. If you're going to see the Falcon, who happens to be played by Anthony Mackie, then that's kind of the majority of people. So the idea behind these studios getting these big faces to do a voice is counterproductive. This just feels like bad business to me, because you have, like I said, you have all of these voice actors. The original Garfield animated series, the voice actor for that show that played Garfield is still alive and still working. So why are we not bringing him in? We've had this same discussion before when Mario came out, so I will leave it there. But it's good on Chris Pratt, I guess, but still, I wish it was somebody else. All right, so our next piece of news: we shall flow a river forth to thee, for thee, my lord, for thee, and teeming with souls shall it ever be. I can't remember the rest of it, but if you know the rest of that little prayer that then ends in nomine Patri et Filii et Spiritus Sancti, blam blam, then you are pretty excited about this next piece of news, because Boondock Saints is getting a third movie. All right, so original director and producer and writer Troy Duffy and Sean Patrick Flanery and Norman Reedus are all returning. So Troy Duffy, the original director, writer, producer of the first movie and the second movie, is coming back. He is co-writing this script with Sean Patrick Flanery, which is an interesting choice. Sean Patrick Flanery is not a bad actor. As a writer, though, I'm very interested to see where that one goes. So they're actually early on the pre-production right now, and they're going to be rolling into actual production come May of 2022, when Sean Patrick Flanery is done with his work on the Boys series and Norman Reedus has finished up The Walking Dead. That's when they're going in to do Boondock Saints 3. I'm honestly pretty freaking stoked. Yeah, let's move on. And that is all of the movie news that is worth talking about as far as the nerd sphere is concerned. If you want to see all of the other sections, again, top link in the description, generalnerdy.net, youtube.com/generalnerdy, patreon.com/generalnerdy, all of the wonderful places. Thank you for joining me again, nerds. Before we go, always remember that if it's generally nerdy, it's probably here.